Welcome to the Braylon Edwards Show with Shep.
Touchdown, Braylon Edwards.
Braylon Edwards, touchdown, Michigan. Running pattern to Edwards, touchdown, Michigan.
Where we bring you the best in sports, entertainment, and insight. Join us every weekday from 2 to 4 p.m. as we break down the latest games, analyze the biggest plays, and dive into the hottest topics in sports. We'll have exclusive interviews with your favorite athletes and guests, and you'll get a front row seat to all the action. So tune in to the Braylon Edwards Show with Shep.
Got one-on-one going end zone. Edwards in the air. Oh, what a catch by Braylon Edwards. His second touchdown of the game.
On the Woodward Sports Network, where sports comes to life.
Welcome in to the Braylon Edwards Show with Shep. I am your host, Braylon Edwards. Excited to be with you guys on a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Tuesday. Shep, I have on a t-shirt, and I would like to say this is the first time this year that I didn't have to take off anything with this t-shirt.
I would like to say I want that t-shirt. I think this is the second time I've asked for it. You still haven't given it to me, and that's okay because it's very cool.
Got these guns right here, man. I don't know if you could fit this particular one. I got to get you
it would be much looser
smaller
on me. Yeah.
I'll hook you up. I'll get you a medium, if you will. But
is that your go-to whiskey? I mean, you drink a little bourbon. So do I.
Yeah, I like Basil Hayden.
Basil Hayden? Okay, I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
Angel's Envy for me.
Well, okay.
And Woodford.
Yeah,
Woodford Reserve. Very easy.
Yeah.
Very, you can't go wrong with it.
Woodford was like, I think Woodford would have been like Kettle One was. Like when I was in my vodka phase, like legitimately back in the day, like Kettle One, you couldn't go wrong with it. It's a really good vodka, if you will. It's smooth. Like everyone kind of liked it. If someone mentions it, like, hey, look, man, we don't have Grey Goose, but we have Kettle One. All right, that's cool. That's how Woodford is.
Gotcha.
Like if they say, Woodford is the house bourbon, all right, that's fine. That's cool. 100%.
Buffalo Trace.
Strong.
Okay.
Like that's real Kentucky bourbon right there, but it's not bad.
Yeah. Blanton's.
Never had it.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think I have. I am probably 5 years into my bourbon whiskey journey.
Okay, that's a good one to try.
Okay.
Blanton. The way to remember it is just got the jockey on top.
Ah, okay.
Okay. A little more pricey, but
now did the jockey get paid? The one that they?
It's a great question.
Did he get paid? Did he get his NIL money?
If he retired too soon, he did not get his bonus.
Or he didn't get his bonus.
Yeah.
Speaking of bonuses, the show wouldn't be the show without our group, and that is on the auto booth, my man, Sweet Potato Cam. What's up, Cam?
Hey, y'all. What's happening, B?
Rocking the Detroit Pistons. They must have got a win or something last night. That's typically what happens.
Hey, it was close. No, I'm rocking the gear, though. I'm going to the game tonight. Let's go.
Right, fair.
Hopefully we clinch. Let's clinch.
25 free throws for one individual, 23 for a team. In a close game, that seems odd to me. But anyway.
Soft calls.
Well, I don't want – look, I'm not going to whine about it, all right? I would remind people Detroit commits the fewest fouls in the NBA, 22.2 per game.
Yeah.
For some reason or another, when the Frogger plays – that's my new nickname for Shea Gilgeous-Alexander because he kicks his leg out. When the Frogger plays, that's a lot of toe in the stripe. 47's real, but 25 at the line, that's a lot.
As I introduced his biggest fan, I won't say that the Cade and he's not getting it and that's what it is, but I will say this: the more and more you watch the NBA, the more and more it's starting to look like soccer. The more like the acting has turned into soccer. Like I love watching World Cup. Started watching a little bit more MLS after 2016 World Cup. I was down in Miami and 14 was. But anyway, I say this to say, when I was watching and I started diving in, you're like, some damn good actors. And then the more you watch, you're like, no, they actually aren't good actors and they're getting the calls. That's what you're starting to see in basketball 10 years later.
It's bad. And people, because of social media, which can be the bane of our existence, but also very helpful, because of social media, people are making more aware of it. Why is this not a travel? How of him shuffling the feet? How does Giannis Antetokounmpo take 7 steps? Why in the world is there no traveling call against Victor Wembanyama when even though he gallops like a gazelle, he still took 7 steps from the midcourt stripe? That is a travel, and they're not calling it.
So I put something in the group chat this morning or yesterday, and I said this would be something funny and a different kind of approach, but it's along these lines. Like, it's manipulation. Like, that's what the game is. They talk about how much better it is and this, that, and the third. No, it's manipulation. It's manipulation of the rules. The metaphor or the count that I had is these tights, if you will, whether it's Lululemon, whether it's Athleta, whether it's Aloe, whatever version, Nike, whatever version they're making.
All those expensive
they're
brands, the Kool-Aid
engineering
buys,
today,
yeah.
100%. Like when you put that on the body, it looks like the butt's where it's supposed to be, the hamstrings are where they're supposed to be, the front, the quads, the calf, everything is there. It looks amazing. You're like, man, shout out to you. Kudos to you.
Shout out. That's
you
why I
work
don't
out.
wear 'em. Right.
You work hard. But when you take those tights off, you see weight going everywhere. You see the belly fall down. You see the jiggle. You see the cellulite in the back, on the butt, this, that, and the third. The body doesn't look the same anymore. It no longer looks like you work out. It no longer looks like, oh, you're eating well.
You're
on the
100%
diet.
right.
You're at the gym. You're working out. What it looks like is the tights manipulated the body to put you in a space to look good.
And my kids call it BHO, belly hangs over.
The
Then suddenly you
NBA
take that off and boom, there you go.
NBA did the same thing. They manipulated the rules to make individuals look like they were so skilled and so much better. And now that you have social media and now that you're getting people posting this stuff, you can't run from it.
It's
you
a bad
can't hide
look.
it. You can't see it.
Yeah, it's
You
a
can't
bad
unsee
look,
it.
and it doesn't help
Yeah.
when you have two coaches suggesting that you play fewer games, 10 fewer, another former owner or now minority
I don't
owner
listen
saying
to nothing that
you
comes out of Golden State.
Yeah, shouldn't minority owner in the Dallas Mavericks has said we should play 40 minutes. Let's follow the leader. I guess it's the NCAA. Maybe it's the WNBA. Instead of playing 48 minutes, let's play 40. That doesn't help the league either. I wish they would tell them all to just keep quiet. Why is it the NFL is going to add a game? The NHL is going to add 2 games, but the NBA wants to cut back 10 games. Makes no sense whatsoever.
Yeah, a bunch of bitches. At the end of the day, they get more money. They're the money that they're getting right now is at an all-time high in the NBA.
Correct. So
at
just
an
let it be.
All-time high.
In the words of the Beatles, let it be.
So now they believe their players like have more rights. Say, well, you know, let's let them play a little bit less. That'll help on the injuries. No, it won't. Like you're just doing that because you want to. You want to make it easier. Steve Kerr's the one complaining about it.
Yeah.
That's because he wants it easier. You didn't complain when your team was. You didn't complain back in the day. Like you did
when
not
you played,
when
when you coached,
or when you coached. And as it relates to the Dallas Mavericks minority, they don't know what the hell they're doing in Dallas.
Right.
Like the new ownership group, they don't know what they're doing. Hence why they got rid of Luka Doncic 2 years or a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not listening too much. That is coming.
Yeah,
out
there's a
of
lot
that.
of negative publicity and more's coming today and yesterday, and we'll get into that a little bit later on. But speaking of negative publicity,
I got a different take on that too.
I'm looking forward to it. We'll do that in the second hour of the program. This program flies by, so we
J9 if you didn't know.
welcome you in the chat. Smash that like button. Looking forward to it, and looking forward to hearing all the things that you have to say today about the topics that we discussed. That includes a bad look. We're talking about bad looks. It's been a bad look for the Lions as of late for a couple of different reasons, right?
Before we get serious, Shep, before we down to Lions and get serious, speaking of bad looks, Sweet Potato Cam, can you do me a favor? Can you put the NFL coaches picture up here?
I sure can.
I'm going to have some fun with this one real quick.
All right.
Speaking of bad looks,
Okay.
every year, it's like the picture gets a little lighter, if you will, Shep. I'm looking at the picture. I'm like, man, some good-looking white dudes in this picture, man. Okay, I got my guy right here. Picture's a little blurry, can't tell, but you can make some people
I
out.
got 2 black guys in
Okay,
that whole
we got 2.
Three.
We got 1, 2.
Three.
Where's the third?
So we've got one next to Campbell
Okay.
Yep.
with the glasses hanging down.
100%.
One over there standing next to I don't know
Three
if that's Shane Steichen.
to the left.
And then Aaron Glenn down here on the
So
left.
we got Aaron, D'Amico. Okay, we got we're 3.
Yeah.
This picture's we gotta add some color to this picture.
It is tilted. I would agree with that.
But it's just funny. One is it's not funny, but it is, and also on the hills of the state of Florida talking about we're getting rid of the Rooney Rule. Like, and you see pictures like this, it's like, oh, we're going backwards.
But even you said the Rooney Rule's a joke.
It is a joke
Because
but
nobody does it.
it's a joke, but at the same time, it allows an individual to be prepared. It allows an individual to understand how to go about the coaching hire process. It allows the individual to get in the room and allows you to gain some traction and your name start to get in those circles, to be around, hey, we interviewed a guy. The guy was really good. He's not for us, but you know what? He's a guy that I maybe would take on. When you are telling me I don't have to interview, which now it seems like you're only interviewing a certain kind of individual.
Yeah.
You can't even get in the room anymore.
Yeah.
So that's, even though the Rooney Rule didn't necessarily help in that regard, and you're right, it was BS. Like now I'm just.
I mean, you had one guy sue the league because of it.
Yeah, I'm bringing a black guy in just to meet the quota. Now he's
That's
gone,
right.
which is even more.
Yeah.
But to a certain extent, now when you're not even letting them in the door, now you're not even interviewing them. It's like you can't hire one if you don't interview one.
I don't disagree with you at all.
So, but you know, it's always fun. And shout out to Cleveland Browns doing Cleveland Browns things. Notice that there are 31 people in this picture. Not 32.
Oh, I didn't do the counting.
Todd Monken, who I don't know how the hell he got the job in Cleveland, was getting a haircut for this picture and missed the picture.
Wow.
Did not know that.
Cleveland
goodness.
Brown
Wow.
doing Cleveland Brown things.
Wow.
I missed the picture because I was on the
That's
property
insane.
getting a haircut for the picture.
That's nuts.
That's a hell of a way to start out your first 10 years. Now, here's a funny thing. What if he gets fired after this season or before the season, he doesn't make it again? Like, there's no proof that he was a coach.
Correct. Well, except for every Sunday.
Just
Yeah.
telling
I know.
us something.
So
He weren't in this picture.
How many can you identify just off the hop?
It's fuzzy as hell.
Okay, so second to the right is Dan Quinn.
I see Sirianni standing up.
Okay, so Sirianni, Dan Quinn, Saleh. Then
Looks like 49ers.
looks like
is
Shanahan.
that Kyle
Yeah,
Shanahan?
Shanahan.
Andy Reid.
Yes, Andy Reid.
To his right is who?
I don't know, but I know exactly who. That's Schottenheimer, 2 down.
Okay, and then Dan, and then D'Amico.
No. That's the other black. Who is he even coach? Like, I know it's terrible that I don't know. I'm up here complaining. It's just not that many. I didn't even know he was there. It's not Mike Tomlin. He's not coaching.
Okay,
That's Kevin O'Connell right there.
Kevin O'Connell,
Don't know. That's
D'Amico.
That's Kellen Moore.
Kellen Moore, right?
I know what's his name. That's Dave Canales.
Yeah, and then Mike McCarthy.
Man, Mike looks weird.
He looks really bad.
He looks like Paul Smith. You remember Paul Smith, the athletic trainer?
Absolutely, I do.
He looks like Smith.
He does. And is that
Cohen?
I think that's Liam Cohen.
He looks
And then
cool. That's
Aaron
the only reason I
Glenn,
know.
right? And then
Yo, shout out to
I don't know who's next to Aaron
Cohen
Glenn.
has come a long way since Duval.
Who's next to Aaron Glenn there? I'm not sure.
I don't know. He looks like he's cool.
The next guy looks like Brian Cashman, but it's not.
Yeah, he looks
And then
like-
Mike Vrabel, and then Sean Payton.
So shout out to Vrabel for taking up 2 spaces. Though.
Yeah,
He
right.
said,
Yeah,
I'm gonna let you know what time.
He's got what? Then Mike McDaniel, or Mike McDonald rather,
John
and then John Harbaugh, Jim Harbaugh.
That was the easiest one.
Okay, yep.
I can see him. LaFleur.
Matt LaFleur, and then Sean. Well,
McVay's not in this
I
picture
think
either.
I thought that was McVay next to
Nah.
in between those two. No, okay.
Nah, I mean, you know,
We didn't do a great
Got the
we
hair.
didn't do a great job. It's not a great picture
Well, first
either.
of all,
But
it's
we didn't.
blurry.
Yeah. Well, we still should know.
Who is that big dude? That's a big dude. That's just the fans.
That's Buffalo. That's Joe
Brady.
Joe Brady.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
He's a
that's
big-
Joe Brady.
He's a big
Yep.
dude.
And then the last 3 guys in the lower part, I'm having a little bit of trouble identifying.
Yeah, who
Anyway.
cares? It looks like the who's who of used to be quarterbacks.
Yes, it does.
With the exception of Brady, Vrabel, Dan, everybody, and then maybe Aaron Glenn.
Oh, good job. MD Peters 715. Minter is next to Glenn. Good job.
Shout
Thank you
out.
for that.
There you
Well
go.
done. Well done. Excellent work.
You know what they should have did? They should have put Jesse Minter right next to John Harbaugh. Hey, what's up, buddy?
Yeah. Yeah.
What's up, bud? Or they should have put him in the middle of him and Jim.
Yeah, it gets right between them.
So I coached for both of you guys and took your job. My bad. Did you think John knew at the time when he was sending Jesse to go gain some experience with the Michigan Wolverines that he would send him back? He would do his thing, and then he would come back and take his job?
I know, but I bet you he rooted for him to get a job in the league.
Yeah, he got one all
Yeah, he
right.
sure did.
He got one.
Somebody had asked Brandon Martin, where is Dan Campbell at? He's right behind Jim Harbaugh. Jim Harbaugh's the only one wearing sunglasses, and Dan Campbell's right behind him.
Cohen.
What's
Like,
that?
Cohen.
Liam Cohen?
He's wearing sunglasses, too.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. Yeah,
I will
so
say this,
2
though.
of them are wearing
You
sunglasses.
can tell who wins Super Bowls because they eat good. Like, look at Nick Sirianni.
He's sticking his chest out, but he probably should have worn looser clothing.
Oh,
How's
Mike
that?
McDonald. Where's he?
Yeah, I said that. He's in the blue
I
right
see
there.
him next to Harbaugh.
Yeah, next to John Harbaugh.
That makes sense.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, but
All right, good stuff.
I thought we had some fun with this picture, a little bit lighter this year. I tell you what, Aaron Glenn don't watch out, and D'Amico have another interesting year like last year. This picture get even lighter.
It just might. Well, let's talk a little bit about the Lions
Okay.
because this is the topic of our city and
Yeah.
our state and maybe the National Football League to a certain extent. There's a couple of things. First, what Dan Campbell had to say at the NFL meetings that we will get to. But I think the most pressing issue is exactly how the Lions handled the Frank Ragnow situation. I think there's a lot of people who are shaking their heads right now based on the fact that Ragnow has to give some of his signing bonus back. As a former player yourself and part of that fraternity, let's talk a little bit about it, because this is it. Our precedent goes all the way. This is Rod Wood, the Lions president, to Dave Burkett.
He's going to get in trouble.
I think he is too.
Like
but maybe he just doesn't give a crap because he's on his way out the door.
Exactly.
He said our president goes all the way back to Barry Sanders, and if Barry Sanders paid back money, the reality is they're not paying back their money. They're returning our money. I think that's a really bad quote. That's a really bad look, and it does not make you look like you're very sympathetic to an injured player. So I'm not saying the franchise is wrong. I'm saying the way you phrase it is not a good look.
Especially after you supposedly clean things up with Calvin Johnson, right?
Well, you did clean things up with
but
Calvin
that's
Johnson.
what I'm saying. That's what makes it seem just
and Barry
that much
Sanders.
weird.
You cleaned it up with Barry Sanders.
Exactly
too.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, just looking at the situation, the wording is everything, because the wording gives you a little peek behind the curtain. First of all, Rod, it ain't your money. Like you ain't came out of your pocket for nothing. Like it's not you. It's the Ford's money. With that being said, though, you had some charge over it. When you make comments like this can be perceived as this is what's being said behind closed doors. Like which is a lack of respect. Which is we don't really care. It's more so about the physicality. It's not necessarily about the
He
player.
said it too confidently.
He said it. No, he said it. Not even confidently. He just said it like it's being said.
Yep.
Like he said it like he's repeated it over and over and over again, and this wasn't the only time he had heard it.
You're 100% right. It feels like that's what they've been saying for a long time, and now it's just been released.
So he can say it with no recourse.
Correct.
If you want to talk about what's right and what's wrong, at the end of the day, like you don't play, you get money back. Like I don't care what corporation, what job you have, if you receive a bonus and then you don't go out and you don't give them what they want in that bonus, or you don't give them what that bonus had in the contractual language, then you're going to have to get that money back, whether it's prorated, whether it's all of it. In the case of Barry Sanders, he gave back 1.8, Calvin gave back 1.6, and it was a big deal for Calvin. Calvin thought he had earned that money through the same thing as Frank Ragnow. The injuries, the ankle, the back, the neck, the knee, the reasons why I'm actually leaving the game, I gave you guys everything I had, so this money is mine. Well,
and representing the franchise in the city. Let's not lose sight of that. These guys were not in trouble. These guys were perfect ambassadors on what you would want your team, your city, your franchise represented by. Barry Sanders, Calvin Johnson, and Frank Ragnow. All three of them. Go ahead.
Yeah, 100%. But it's also, too, it's about your relationship in terms of, like, the fans. Like, the fans had a very jaded relationship with Barry. Barry just up and bounced. Barry shot the facts in. Barry said, I'm done, I'm retired. And they left them hanging, if you will, so they hated him. And everybody was like, send that money back. You look at a case like Frank Ragnow. Frank Ragnow operated until the wheels fall off, literally. Tried to give you everything, tried to come back. So I think fans look at it like, man, just get that man his money, man. Let him hang on to that cheese. No, it's not his. You know, now they could have came up with a concept like, hey, look.
Well, that's it.
Like maybe you get some front office work in.
Yeah.
Maybe we can send you here. Maybe we can get you to do some things to represent the Detroit Lions abroad, be an ambassador, start some front office work, and then we can give you that, and maybe it turns into more.
We want you to have the money.
Yeah, but
you
you got to earn it.
Find a different way for you to earn it.
Yeah.
Jason Kelsey had a great tweet. He said, it feels like it's obvious that Ragnow retired because he was physically fighting through injuries and pain, which is true. The whole purpose of a signing bonus is to be guaranteed up front that ensures a salary regardless of performance metrics or, most importantly, injuries that could compromise your career in the future. What makes it interesting is that Ragnow decided to retire voluntarily, meaning he wasn't declared medically unfit to play by a doctor, which allows the team to ask for a prorated amount of his signing bonus back. So you and I aren't arguing whether the team had the right to get it, to ask for it back. I think what people would argue here is, should they get it back? Is there something to be said for a man who lays it out on the line, is a captain of your franchise, does all the things right that you and I just talked about, getting that little bit of more paper, even though he'll never play again?
Is it going to hurt you? I think that's another way to look at it. To that point, agreeing with you. If somebody laid it all out on the line, like, is it going to hurt you? Is this 1.6 going to hurt you? This 1.63? Find ways to get individuals to keep that money, that you can earn it and represent. But I took a different approach in just listening to this. You start to play all this out together. For me, it feels like Frank Ragnow was always supposed to play last year. Like, I didn't hear this from anybody. This isn't something I'm giving you. Like, okay, now the cat's out the bag. I can tell you what I know. That's not that. This is just speculation. Frank Ragnow was always supposed to play because what did they say? Say we didn't know he was going to retire. Well, I'm starting to call BS. I'm starting to call baloney a little bit. Then it gets to the Green Bay Packers game, and it's like, you know what? Frank Ragnow is coming back. The season is saved. When we had that conversation after they lost to Green Bay, then Frank said, then the physical was failed. I told you, when I left one of my teams to go to another one of my teams, like my physical necessarily couldn't have been passed. Could not have been passed. But guess what? I passed the physical, and I played some games, if you will. I guarantee you this was already a discussion. This was always, Frank, we're going to have you back at some point in the season. Frank agreed to it, hence the money. Everything stayed the same because they didn't make this conversation last year. They didn't say that they were going to get the money back last year. And then that week comes, they lose to the Packers. Now all of a sudden he fails his physical.
Second loss to the Packers.
Second loss to the Packers. I said now all of a sudden they lose to the Packers. They lose the momentum. Now they may not be a playoff team. Now there's no real reason to come back. I think Frank said, I'm cool. Like, I'm good. I don't need to come back. So now he's not coming back, and now here we are, and that was November. Here we are in March, and what are they saying? We need that 1.63 back ASAP Rocky. Because there's no way they didn't know Frank Ragnow was retiring. There's no way.
See, I said that from the get-go, and everybody said I was wrong. I said this surprised the hell out of the organization that he retired. And otherwise, there's no way they go into last season with Graham Glasgow as their center. That had to have surprised them. Okay, now could they have done something about that? I think they could have. They could have made a better alternate plan than Graham Glasgow as the center. But I am convinced to my core that he surprised them with his retirement. And then for him to come back, I think it was one of those things, hey, here's a chance to make good on something and give back to a franchise, and you surprised us, now come back. And then for him not to – you think they pulled the rug out from under him.
Because I think he told him –
I'm going to get the money.
Your job was to make it to the playoffs. Like, you guys are bad. Like, after they lost to Green Bay Packers, they were now third in the division at that time. Didn't look like they were trending in the right way to make the finals. He said, look, I'm good. Like, I'm not coming back just to play, just because, you know what I'm saying, to fulfill some verbal contract, if you will. And now he says no, and so now they're going. I would say this, though, Shep. Like, in a period in 2021 where you gained the traction from what you were in 2020 to then from 2021 to 2024, let's say, you create this new thing, this new regime, this new idea, this new attitude. Oh, man, this is where you're supposed to be. This is where you want to be. They do everything the right way. There's been a little bit of hiccup here, a little bit of hiccup there, a little bit of deal going wrong here, a little player saying something here or there, and now you're starting to have situations like this. The Lions are well within their right to do what they did, and I have no problem with that. When you start to see veterans and people talking like this moving forward, it just potentially puts a damper when people are trying to come to your team, your organization.
But it is clear. I mean, there's no doubt. We don't even know none of us do. You would because you were in those locker rooms, but none of us know the extent of pain and injury that a lot of these players and your comrades had to play through.
Yeah.
We can read broken foot. We can read torn pec. We can read knee injury. We can read back issue. We don't fully comprehend how bad it is. Just because it's written on a piece of paper doesn't mean that I can feel it. I think it took an awful lot for him to step away because of how much he loved it. And right now, because the sport has clearly taken a physical toll on him and his body, and he could not hold up to the rigors of the NFL. It's not that he didn't want to play anymore. It's that he couldn't play anymore. And for a franchise to sit there and say, give me this back, even though we've affected your livelihood or your life the rest of the time you're on Earth, I think it's a really bad look for the Lions, and they're going to have a hard time living it down.
On the flip side of that, like, this comes with the territory. Like, this is what you sign up for as an NFL player. Like, I played in this league. I had to sign those contracts. I had to understand that this was an opportunity. This was a potential result. this was a potential finale. If they choose to move on because I'm injured, because I have nothing left to give, that's the game.
How much do they help you insurance-wise moving forward?
Now it's good. The insurance lasts forever. Not so much when I played. When I played, it was you get 4 years, and then after that, you're on your own. You do your own
Think
thing.
about that for a minute.
Yeah, but
Think about that.
he has
Okay.
life insurance is now forever for them.
And that's great. And
Yeah.
but that's the way it always should have been. The
Agreed.
NFL has enough money, Braylon,
Yeah.
to take people at your age, your father's age, the people before your father, and say, this is going to be retroactive. Here's the plan with fill in the insurance blank. You guys gave everything you could on the field of play. You deserve to be taken care of medically.
Yeah.
If the league feels it owes its players something, well, they got to take care of its players. If you are tenured, use a teaching term. If you've been in the league a certain amount, if you're vested, whatever that is, it used to be 3.5 years.
Yep.
Is it 4 years now? What is it?
It's less, like two. It's like 2
Okay.
years, 2 games.
Okay. So if it's 2 years, 2 games, those people should be taken care of medically for the rest of their lives.
They should be. I think that is one thing that should happen. This is a separate thing as it relates to a team.
Yeah.
Look, you didn't fulfill your obligation. Like, you came up short, and we appreciate your service. We appreciate everything you did. Like, you didn't do more than Barry Sanders did, and we got the money back from him. You didn't do more than Calvin Johnson did, and we got the money back from him, and then repaired that relationship.
So if you were in charge of the Lions and you had to go through this bullcrap quote, how do you handle it now moving forward?
I would get him in ASAP Rocky. Like, I know I keep saying that term. Maybe I've been listening to his music lately, but I would get him in the building as soon as I could.
Yep.
Have conversation. How can we make this right? Because the Lions aren't in a situation where they're going down. The Lions are in a situation where their bar is staying even. So you're legitimately got a chance to go up or down. Situation like this, you get ahead of it, you bring him in, you figure it out, you have this thing sorted by the time minicamp comes around, and now there's good energy, maybe even have him in the building, yada, yada, I don't know. It's back good press. It's back good energy. It feels good down there in Rotunda. It feels good around the Lions organization. And so now you have another alum that will show up, that will show out. So I would get ahead of it ASAP and figure out what we could do to, shift the money in a certain different way, but get you on, do some things. Antonio Gates is an ambassador for the Los Angeles Chargers. He works right with the team. He does a lot for the team, and at the same time doesn't do a lot, realistically. But he's a great representation of what they are. He's one of their best players of all time. They find ways to pay him handsomely.
People want to see him.
Yes.
People want to be close to him. I'm not saying Frank Ragnow's the same way, because he's not, okay?
His name, though.
But his name right now is synonymous with tough guy and winning football for the Lions, for the most part, okay? For him to be at training camp, for him to help with some type what you've done before with a rookie symposium, for him to make certain appearances, you could make up the money that they've asked for back by doing that. But that should have been thought of way ahead of time. Instead of a quote like this, maybe the quote is, Frank Ragnow, it will always be a Lion. We are going to make sure that he and his family are taken care of, and in the meantime, he's going to represent us in the community and in different events the way he always represented us on the field, with class and dignity.
At the same, it's just
that's all you got to do. It's not that hard.
Problem is, everybody wants to be right. It's not always about being right. It's about doing what's right. Everybody wants to be right. Well, we're right because within our means it says da 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 da. If you read section 12, line da 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 da, we're not asking to read that. I don't need to read the section. I understand the contract. What I'm trying to tell you is it's optics. It's a feel. It feels like you have the opportunity to do a good thing here. It feels like more could be done for Frank Ragnow, who's one of your recent retirees that actually contributed a lot to what you did in that 21 and 24 period.
How do you think this affects people outside the organization, people in the NFL, people in the fraternity of the National Football League looking at the Lions doing this for what now amounts to be the third time? 2 Hall of Famers, and one could argue at least a Lions Hall of Famer, not a Pro Football Hall of Famer, but perhaps a Ring of Honor type guy. 3 prominent guys, and all 3 of these very public now.
See, this is how I feel about it. This wouldn't be a big deal if this were 2 years ago when you were 12 and 5. This wouldn't be an overly major deal when you're coming off 15 wins. This becomes more of a situation when you see a lot of moves that weren't made. When you think about last year and what was messed up, whether they overshot on the position of Frank Ragnow, whether they messed up with the offensive line, whether they didn't do necessary things as it relates to the NFL draft, then coming forward to this year, going 9-8. Not making it to the playoffs, losing to the Vikings twice, which shouldn't have ever happened. And now in the offseason, you look at some of these moves, as a collective, the moves are like, eh. So when you start to compile all those things on top of each other, it starts to look like a different situation.
You know, people in the chat have been really active with this. You know, you set the precedent moving forward. You have to pay everyone. That's not how you run a business. This is the price of doing business. Somebody actually quoted Hyman Roth in Godfather 2, which is a good one. This is the business we've chosen, that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
He's always got that little snort.
100%, that's what I said.
And I get that, right? On the other hand, there is perception out there. I'm not saying the Lions are wrong, and I don't think you are either.
No.
You're not in the habit of just paying everybody certain amounts of money when they haven't earned it yet,
Right.
or what they haven't agreed to yet, because he's earned quite a bit. You can't just sit there, and who am I to say? How much is enough? $1.6 million is still $1.6 million. So suddenly, if you total up Barry's and you total up Calvin's and you total up now Frank Ragnow's, suddenly you're well over $4 million. Those things add up for any company.
Yeah.
All right. On the other hand, you do have to keep this in mind that there are other players who want to play for you or who might want to play for you at some point. There are players who get drafted, and there are people who talk when it comes to this stuff. So how do you think the perception is changed, if at all, by the Lions in the NFL community? We'll get to that when we come back here on the Braylon Edwards Show after this from Ben Johnson and, of course, our friends at Art and Jake's.
VENfights.com. That's where you want to go if you got anything, any type of situation that requires legal attorneys to be present for you. Get the fighter in your corner, man. Let's stop playing games. The fighter has been doing this for a very long time, talking about Ben Johnson. He and his group at Ben Johnson Law, they know what they're doing. They're trial attorneys. Trial attorneys. I mean, they get the job done. Whether it's a settlement or verdict, they want all the smoke. So allow them to be in your corner. Don't let them be the second, third, fourth, or fifth call. Make it the first. Make it the first call you make. You get them in your corner and you get them on the job, guarantee you'll like the results that they present. Let the fighter fight for you.
You've heard the song One Shining Moment? I'm sure you have. It's associated with
Michigan.
The NCAA tournament, right? Well, the Final Four is upon us. It's getting closer. It's Saturday night. It's 2 games, 1 place. I know, Indianapolis, but I'm talking about one place to watch it. Art and Jake's in Clarkston, Michigan, Arizona. The last game of that evening, but the best place, the first place you should be thinking about watching it. Art and Jake's Sports Bar and Grill for the Final Four. We're going to be there live, bringing you every moment of the action alongside the best food and the best drinks in town. Come see us Saturday night in Clarkston. Art and Jake's. Awesome stuff.
Best-in-class strength equipment. Join today for $1 down and save.
We're stepping it up.
We're not slowing down.
Finding new faith, new focus.
Love that new equipment smell.
So, you in?
Join the club today. Save when you join for just $1 down, $15 a month. Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet.
You know how some things are so good they should be world famous, but they're not? Our house-made vinaigrette is one of those things. And the antipasto salad, we drizzle it over. Same with our hand-battered chicken tenders. Original recipe soups and pasta sauces. It's almost as if our original world-famous Detroit-style pizza is mocking them. And that's not very nice.
Why do we fight? We fight to protect the innocent, to hold the powerful accountable, to bring the oppressors to justice. Why do we fight? We fight to secure and preserve our civil liberties, to get each and every one of our clients the justice they deserve, and to make the lives of real people just like you whole again. VenFights.com.
Big Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon. Braylon Edwards and Shep Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
Like a frostbite straight from the divine. Cold rush on my skin feels so fine. Muscle freeze, the ache. No side effects, no mistake. Chill sub-zero. Icy and true. Feel the chill. It's all for you. It's not magic, just science play. Chill sub-zero.
I hate to tell you, energy drinks, but you're about to be crushed. Thrive nootropic energy pouches are here to change the game by delivering steady, focused performance in a clean white pouch for a fraction of the cost. And unlike other brands, Thrive comes from an American company that's been leading the way for over 30 years. So stop drinking gut rot energy drinks and why don't you thrive for a change? It's just better.
The Tigers are the best team in baseball. Get the best coverage in Detroit right here on Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports. Every Scooble start, every green homer, and all the action can be followed on all of our social media. Make sure you like, subscribe, and follow on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. It's World Series or bust, Detroit, and we are here for the ride. Woodward Sports. Game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports. Is that an octopus in your pants, or are you just happy to see me? See what I did there? Go Red Wings! From Octopi Experts, Woodward Sports.
It's game on at Art & Jake's. Wings, burgers, pizza, and ice-cold drinks served up with attention to detail. Wall-to-wall TVs, great service, and a vibe that keeps your crew coming back. Art & Jake's, a sports bar setting with a fine dining flavor.
Find your sun with Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea. Made with real iced tea and real vodka. Cold, refreshing, and made for moments like these all year long. Let the good times cruise with Sun Cruiser.
Baseball is back because you watched the Tigers last night lose, unfortunately. It's 2-2. Oh, my gosh. Everybody start pressing the panic button. Oh, my God. What's going on? Well, listen, you're going to have a blast on Friday. Why? Because Friday is opening day down at Comerica Park, and Detroit is going to be hopping. So make sure you get there early. And
jumping.
It is going to be jumping. That's a good way to put it. Grand Slam Opening Day Festival. We're going to be broadcasting live here on Woodward Sports all morning long. So come out, hang out with Braylon, hang out with D-Mac. Hopefully you give us a little bit of time at Buddy's, me and Broder and KG, because we're going to be talking baseball.
Fire.
1526 Broadway Street goes all day, man. It does, all day long. Get your tickets today. Here's how you do it. Go to GrandSlamDetroit.com. That's GrandSlamDetroit.com. It's Detroit's biggest opening day event. Now, while you're there, you're going to want to sip a few things. I get it, okay? To each his own, but let me just make one recommendation. Not just stopping by and seeing us at Buddy's, but stop by and have a Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea, because it's not going to weigh you down. It's only 100 calories. It is clean. It is crisp. It is perfect to sip while you're watching. The Tigers are watching Braylon do his thing downtown. Whatever it is, Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea and Woodward Sports. It's a winning combination, but please drink responsibly.
Now, I will tell you this. I will be downtown for opening day. Can't wait. I'm super excited. I definitely will have a couple of those cruisers with your Shep, if you will, and maybe even some of those Samuel Adams cherry wheat. But you know what I'm going to do before I do all that? I'm going to Planet Fitness because I understand that my fitness is essential. I want to make sure I look good when I walk around that T-shirt because it will be nice weather out there. Check this out. Your fitness is essential, so why don't you come on down to Planet Fitness because they already understand that mission. There's over 50 metropolitan Detroit locations, so it's a gym near you. There's no judgment, home of the judgment-free zone, locker rooms as well as equipment, squeaky clean. I promise you that. You've seen people clean all the time. In fact, it gets a little bit annoying from time to time. They clean so damn much. I will tell you that. But with that being said, this is what we understand. Trainers on staff, and also too, don't forget about that black card membership. Get you access to that hydro massage spa, the aqua hydro chairs, if you will. Come on down to Planet Fitness where they understand your fitness is essential. Shep.
Hey, we back.
Listen, this is gaining a lot of traction. All right, not the Grand Slam Fest, not Planet Fitness. Both are gaining traction. But I'm talking about what's going on with the line. I'll give you an example. Most recently, ESPN is it's in Arizona for the NFL meetings. The Pat McAfee show that is very, very popular. Yeah. All right, whether you like it or not, it is. It's popular. Here's the quote: "It feels as though the Detroit Lions are the cheap Lions now, a tale as old as time." And Adam Schefter said, "I'm surprised to see that." So again, it's this is where I know everybody likes to do interviews and they like to speak truths and things of that nature. I'm telling you, man, this is. They're not that they can walk it back. They can't walk it back. The Lions are going to have to say something about what was said to try and straighten things out. And they're going to need Frank Ragnow to say something, and they're going to have to have some type of peace pipe. The reputation is what it is. Let me give you another example.
This is inching.
Yeah.
This is inching dangerously close to 3 letters.
I know,
and I refuse to say those letters.
I hate saying
on air. I refuse to subject our listeners to that. But I'd be lying if I didn't say that this had an eerily similar feel to when we went by those 3 letters, if you will, and you know the letters.
Yes, unfortunately we do. Let me put up what Alex Anzalone recently tweeted out. Now, Alex Anzalone
got an axe to grind.
He's got a bit of an axe to grind. I mean, he loved Detroit. He embraced Detroit. He wanted to be here. Last year at training camp, he wanted some extra money, but what did he say? I want to be here. Now it seems like he can't wait to get the hell out of here. And while he's going on the way out of town,
couple jabs,
more than a couple. Here's what he said about the Frank Ragnow situation and what Rod Wood said to Dave Burkett in the Free Press. Played through fractured throat, 1 week post meniscus cleanup with stitches barely out, inoperable, unrepairable toe. Hey, let me get that prorated signing bonus back. Doing business as business is being done. In other words, all the things, is what we just talked about, all the injuries and the pain that you were going through, nobody knew. Outside your locker room, and maybe even those inside your locker room, did not know, okay? The fan in row 5 did not know what you were going through. We don't know. Anzalone knows. Yeah. He knows what Frank Ragnow was going through. Now, putting it out this way, I think is not cool. But
2026.
It's his way of saying, you know what? You didn't put me in the video when I had a lot of pass breakups. Yeah. You didn't give me the contract. You didn't give me the extra year. But you watch. I'm going to have the last laugh. Zing. Here you go.
Yeah, unfortunately for the Lions, man, it happened at a position that people tend to give the benefit of the doubt. It happened to a position that people love. It happened to a position that don't speak for themselves, so everybody's cool, and that's the offensive line. Like, if this would have been any other position, there may be a difference of sentiment. It may be different. But because it's the big uglies, that's what they call them, the big uglies.
That's true.
Because they call them the big uglies, because they don't talk a lot, because they're all about the team, because you see the physicality that those big fellas have to deal with and endure over the tenure of their career, you look at them a little bit different, like, hey, they're off limits. Like, and so now you see a situation where Anzalone comes out, adds a little bit more fire, stokes it a little bit. Now he gives you exactly what he was dealing with. Now he's letting you know what he played through and what the conversation was and what they're trying to pull back from. It's like, how dare they do that to Frank Ragnow? How dare they do that to an offensive lineman? All they do is they just go in there and they just do what they're told to do. If this would have been a defensive lineman, maybe different. If this would have been a wide receiver, definitely would have been different.
Here's the other thing that oftentimes teams, members of front offices, sometimes even players, don't think about.
Yeah.
When the media talks about a story has legs, it's not about how attractive somebody may be and what nice pins that person may have.
Yeah.
It's about how long you can extend the story. And here's what's going to happen. When guys get drafted, when guys get traded, when guys sign as free agents.
Bring it back up.
And you bet.
Every time.
When camp opens up, they're going to go to Chris Spielman. And when Calvin Johnson makes an appearance, they're going to ask Calvin Johnson. When they see Barry Sanders on a commercial or when he makes an appearance, they're going to talk to Barry Sanders. People are going to ask this on a regular basis until something gets fixed. The Lions would be very wise right now, as in today, to do the very best they can to get out in front of this and make it right, because they're getting the crap kicked out of them. I know there's a lot of people in the chat who are saying it's business and this is the way it goes, and that may be the case, but that doesn't kill perception.
100%. Two things. The reason why they got to get on top of it is because this isn't a head coach situation. This isn't a GM situation. This isn't a position coach situation. This isn't a president situation. This is an ownership situation, which means if Dan got fired next year, if Brad got fired next year, if all those guys were gone, the regime was over, guess who still would be here? It's Sheila Ham. Guess who owns the money? Guess who's the person that says, you know what, let's get that cheese back? It's Sheila. So they got to get on top of it because Sheila's the owner. It's not like a coach that's going to get fired 100%. You're right in the chat. Like, this is business, and that's what I said. It happens this way. This is what business is. But Shep's also right. It's a perception. Having the same conversation with you guys for the past 4 years. Remember when the Lions started to turn the tide? Remember in 22 when you see 9-8 and they almost make the playoffs? And you're like, man, this is okay. You start to hear Quandre Diggs say things when he's playing for Seattle, when he's talking to Penei Sewell about make sure you appreciate what that Detroit team can do for you. And then 2023, you go on that amazing run and you do all the things. What did we talk about? We talk about the feel of Dan Campbell and this Lions team. Shep, we talked about the feel of free agents wanting to be here. Right. You talked about all the guys before the season that said, hey, man, I would love to sign up for that. How many guys outside of Micah Parsons, how many guys tweeted positive things about the Detroit Lions? And we came on these shows.
And agents were, too.
Exactly. And we came on the network. Let's say the network. We came on the network, and this was good conversation. And you guys said those same things because the perception was the Lions had turned it around. The perception was this is where I want to be. This is where I want to spend some time. I want to be in that locker room with St. Brown. I want to be in that locker room with Penei Sewell. I want to be with what they're doing. The perception after 15-2 and Kevin Zeitler and Carlton Davis and the next steps. Oh, shoot. The perception is this is where you're supposed to be. This is where you want to attack. Now the perception after a year, if you will, from moves made last year, not made, whatever you want to add to it, the perception has lessened. The perception is going the opposite way. So perception is a real thing. It's business, 100%. We never talked about the business side of things. It's about perception. And the perception right now is the Lions are moving back off their square. They're not spending a lot of money. They technically seem like they're a little bit clueless.
Corey Patterson in the chat would tell my agent, not Detroit, if they call, just ignore them. Here's another one. Randall Smalls. Oh, boo-hoo. I'm out fishing on my boat and need $1.7 million for more bait. Boo-hoo. Again, that's not what it's necessarily about, okay? And by the way, we haven't heard from Frank Ragnow.
Right.
So let's not punish Frank Ragnow when he hasn't said anything. Anzalone had said something. This dates back to what Rod Wood said to Dave Burkett over the weekend. I think it was Sunday it came out, or it came out late Sunday. And we're using his words, man.
Yeah.
Frank Ragnow's not saying boo-hoo. This is a reactionary business. When somebody does something like this, people, especially those who have been in the fraternity before, are going to react like it or to it. And this is what's happening right now.
Yeah, I also just look at the situation as this. Why March 31st? Well, it actually came out it came out this Sunday, so it probably was in the works. Like, why now?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Like, why now? You knew last season, allegedly, that he wasn't going to play until we found out that you didn't. So
yeah, but let's face it. I mean, look, there's a lot of people who see the articles that she's in the market to buy a cricket team. She's an investor in the WNBA team. And I'm sure there are some people who side with Frank Ragnow's position, or the people who support Frank Ragnow, because he hasn't given his position. He hasn't come out and said, you know what, damn it, I deserve my money. He has made no statement about this.
I wouldn't
so
say
don't link
anything if I was him.
Neither would I. So what's going to happen? Yeah, because it's
once you
not
talk,
going to do you any good.
Once you talk, now everything starts to shift from the people who side with you. Everybody's going on the opposite side with you.
Until or unless the team comes out and says, hey, listen, this is what we're going to do. We want him because we feel he deserves. We're going to handle it this way, and we've already discussed that a little bit. But, I mean, I think fans, fair or unfair, the perception, like you were just talking about, they read the article. She's interested in a cricket team. She's a majority owner in the WNBA team that's coming here to Detroit in a couple of years. How come you can't pay one of your loyal employees?
It's just an optics thing. If you took a 20,000-foot view of the optics of the Detroit Lions right now, to what Pat McAfee was talking about, start with the end of the season, right? That makes sense. Or you can start with the Frank Ragnow stuff. I'm coming. I'm not. You guys are not going to make the playoffs. They don't make the playoffs. So now we got to start. Well, you guys were 15-2. Now you don't make the playoffs. You had some bad hires as it relates to offensive coordinator. You had a bad re-depth aligning because you didn't have depth last year. Now the season's over, and since the season, outside of Cade Mays, a strong Cade Mays, you're confused about the other 9 guys they brought in. The Terry Arnold situation is happening.
Yeah.
We have sound on that. When you listen to Dan Campbell and the Terry Arnold situation, it sounds like he doesn't know anything, which for a head coach of a franchise is not the way it's supposed to sound. Then you have this Frank Ragnow situation come out. We don't know what's going on. We don't know what's out. We're just speculating and talking about what the perception of is. Dave Montgomery comes out and says some things. I know he's just another disgruntled employee on his way out the door. Alex Anzalone says some things. He's just another disgruntled employee on his way out the door. Khalif Raymond says some things, not necessarily about the Detroit Lions, but talking about what he missed. So when you just look at
it's a domino effect.
Exactly. So is anything really truly going on? I don't know, because they won't tell us. But with that being said, sure seems like there's more things going on that are not positive than things that are going on that are going to help you change what last season was.
Kool-Aid, you got any super chats? I can't believe we're almost at 3:00 already. So we're going to dive into some of the things that Dan Campbell did say in Arizona and play those and get Braylon's reaction coming up. And we're also going to dive into the Jaden Ivey situation and the NBA in general. So we'll get to all that coming up here on the
Got
Braylon
some information
Edwards
on his next interview, if you will.
Ivy, you're talking about Jaden Ivey. That'll be
Damn
interesting.
sure ain't Dan Campbell.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of members of the media listening to that interview. Go ahead, Kool-Aid. Sure.
Yeah, shout out to the people for smashing that like button today. Definitely get those super chats in. None yet, but they've been active in this chat, and a lot of people believe that seems like they're siding with the fact that, hey, look, if you signed a contract, you got to play through it. And I wonder sometimes, though, if from the player standpoint, when they're being asked by the organization, hey, can you play through this, or by the coach, hey, can you play through this? I wonder if in their minds they're going to that place that, hey, you know what, I've put in that work, so that when the team comes back, even if it is precedence, even though this is something the Lions can say that they've done over the years, it leaves me a little shook sometimes that it seems like they might be missing. I get business. Yeah. I get it. But you're asking a player to push well beyond the business component of it on the field, but then you're asking him to play business after he's given it all. So
yeah, it just whether you think it's right or not, it doesn't look good the way it was quoted. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all we're saying. We're saying when you put the words that Rod Wood put out there to the media, it makes you look petty. It makes you look like almost like a second-class NFL citizen. Because other NFL teams have team?
Also, too,
nobody's with it. No, nobody's with it.
Yeah. That was painfully obvious. Also, too, man, like, to be honest, like, Rod Wood sounds like the fans, and the fans sound like Rod Wood.
Talk to me.
Like, and what I mean by that is Detroit is an interesting place, because soon as a player is leaving, as soon as there's some because football is a team-driven league. It's not about the player. It is about the team. So as soon as something happens to him, it's like, well, good riddance, good going. And then anything where he's not on your team anymore, now all of a sudden it's Shep is, well, the hell with Taylor Decker. Oh, the hell with David Montgomery. Alex Anzalone couldn't cover a damn running back anyway. Oh, Frank Ragnar, he didn't have a toe.
We were just shouting knuckles yesterday.
Exactly. he didn't even have a toe. He didn't fill out his obligation. He didn't play this season. Like
he didn't have a toe. You took out another injured player.
Like, give me a damn break. We are on your side. We are agreeing with everything you said. Every chatter is correct. It is business. It is business. He's not entitled to that money. We're not saying that, though. Yeah. It's a certain way you handle it.
Right.
Like, that's what we're trying to convey to you.
Hey, that's it.
How you handle a situation to stay with the perception that the Detroit Lions are one of these organizations.
That's as simple as you can make it. So it's worded perfectly. It's how you handle your business. Here's the thing. You went through that lineage of things that they have had some difficulties overcoming from
also,
a PR
you didn't
standpoint.
Make the playoffs last year, and I'm gonna keep throwing that in your face. You did not make the playoffs last year. So you're not some team that's operating from 18 playoffs in a row, from 8 playoffs in a row, from NFC championships back to back, from maybe a Super Bowl appearance where you can treat people like the Death Star, where you can act like the Imperials, if you will. You're not that. You almost were that. You didn't make the playoffs last year. So the perception is not going to help you now.
You went through the lineage of bad PR stuff that they've had to deal with, and we forgot about the Taylor Decker thing. So I'm glad you brought that back up, because that's another one. Whether it's right or not, I have no problem with them not paying $21 million for Taylor Decker. I have no problem with them letting him go. Go right ahead. I think that's a smart business move. However, when he comes out and tells Justin Rogers, hey, I haven't even heard from my coach. Mm-hmm. I haven't heard from my GM. I haven't heard from my owner. It's almost like I've gone dark, and that's not the case. Again, the perception, right or wrong, that's why you've got to get out in front of these things, and that's why specifically you can't do what Rod Wood did with that type of quote and expect to get away with it.
That's why. And Bray, we got a super chat in here. $10 from one of our favorites.
$10.
She loves me on payday.
Hey, that's the one. Right?
Hey, shout out. Shout out to the police parking enforcement out there. Shout out.
Nah.
Sounds like a guy who might be worried a little bit.
Hey, in the words,
I knew that was going to get Bray.
In the words of Noriega and Jada Kiss, no, we're going to take that back. We're going to take that shout out back. We ain't shouting out nobody that's out there ticketing.
Shout out to She Loves Me on Payday. Then.
Yeah, fair.
$10. He says, Bray, if you were currently a free agent in this league, would you want to come play in Detroit?
No.
Looking at how this organization has treated their past great players.
I would put it to you this way. Like, before I even get to that side of it, I would say no, because it does not look like they know what they're doing. Now, we all could be wrong. We could be wrong once the season starts. We could be wrong once the draft happens, and with the moves they make and this, that, and the third, and the schedule that you guys like to talk about. Maybe they do play the worst schedule. Maybe that helps them. So the conversation is different. But just looking at it right now, no. You were going to place, you halted, and now you're coming back down, and now everybody that played for you, all the people that told me all those good things about you are now saying the opposite. So realistically, I don't believe in the direction of the Lions if I was a free agent coming in and say, no. Now you add on top of that the situation of Frank Ragnar, Taylor Decker, and then you combine. I don't really care about the Barry and Calvin stuff because that's in the past.
Yeah.
Like if I'm not going to look at that.
It's a different owner, a different general manager.
100%. That happened in the past. But what I will look at is this situation looks eerily similar. So maybe you were taking some notes from the previous owners and regimes, if you will. So no, to be honest, I wouldn't want to come here. Because if I'm a free agent, what am I looking for? I'm looking for the best opportunity for myself, but realistically, I'm looking for the best opportunity to win. Because when you win, everything comes with it. Shout out to Lloyd Carr. He said, give yourself to something greater than yourself. When you win, the team wins. So I'm looking at a situation like, where can I go? Have some success. They look like they're on a good trajectory. Look like it's a good field there. Oh, that would have been Detroit 2 years ago.
Yeah. Trying to change some things up, trying to change
That's a mic drop.
Seriously, you know what they did? They worked so hard at changing the perception of the franchise.
They did.
And Sheila was at the forefront of it, and she did a great job of it.
We gave
her
all the love.
Brad Holmes was at the forefront, did a great job.
Calling the mad scientists.
Chris Spielman was fantastic in all this stuff. Dan Campbell kind of steadying that ship and so on and so forth. The right players, the right grit, the right togetherness, the right caring for the city, all those things. They were on point. And it can quickly leave after a few missteps, including this quote to the Free Press over the weekend. Go ahead, Kool-Aid. You got more, right?
The quote that is the curse right now, is after the NFC Championship, January of 2024.
Yeah.
You know how hard it is to get back here. I told those guys, we don't know if we'll ever get back. Never say that out loud.
I thought you were going to say a 2-word answer.
No.
We good.
We're good.
That was, to your point. And that was another one. If you want to add that into thinking about where team is at, is the we're good conversation, and then the continued double down of the we're good conversation. When Brad Holmes is interviewed 2 weeks ago, I believe, or a week and a half ago, when he's talking and he's sitting down talking about, like the edge rusher situation. We got Aiden Hudson over here. Do we need another guy over here like that? Like you guys are always claiming for the edge, and if there's something there, we'll make something happen. Like that's still the conversation that they're having, not understanding how important that situation is, not important how important that position is.
Could I ask what some may consider a dumb question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. All right?
No such thing as a dumb question.
If Rod Wood always tells people he doesn't have much to do with football, right? Because he's the business side of the Detroit Lions and Ford Field. And he's done a hell of a job in that role. Why is he talking about football?
Because what happens in this day and age, these podcasts have opened up these mics, and people love to hear themselves talk. People love to get on these spaces and seem either greater than they was as a player, seem more than they were as a front office individual, seem like they were more than a coach. People get on here and love to hear themselves talk. And people that work in front offices love to hear themselves
now
talk.
You got me wondering, what is he about to do? Is there some kind of tell-all tour? Is there I wonder these comments were like, yo, where's the PR team? Where's the connection to the organization?
Well, I don't think the PR team. I don't think
best.
the PR team needs to follow around the team president. Yeah. They set that up, as you know. We all know this. They set that up through PR, and then they say, okay, there you go. They probably ask for certain talking points and just to prep them a little bit, maybe. Somebody brought this up in the chat. It's a really good point, and it's from Rando Smalls. He said, and it's a $5 super chat. Sorry to take your job there for a moment. He said, the sad part is, if they gave it to him, you would all be calling them dumb, so it's a no-win situation. I don't think that's true, because a lot of this wasn't public. It wasn't public until the team president said it.
We didn't know.
So I think most people would have assumed he got that money. Why in the world do you have to make it public? Ragnow didn't make it public. Anzalone didn't make it public. Decker did. Anzalone made other things public before this. Ragnow didn't go. It was the team president who said this. So otherwise, we would have just thought and assumed, and fair enough, that, hey, Frank Ragnow got what he got.
You have to, these podcasts and these interviews, when you're talking, because of the nature of them now, they're not a desk. They're not suited and booted. It's not like that. Podcasts are very laid back. They're very casual. Everybody's chill. Like, the vibes are good. You didn't know where he's coming from, eating a sandwich, coming from having a drink. Like, a lot of times guys are smoking and going on these podcasts. And once those lips start talking, you accidentally, comfortably go into space.
Sink ships.
You 1,000%. That's what's happening. How many times you been watching a podcast lately, or you've been watching a show? You was like, damn, he said that.
Look at Shep.
Loose lips, sink ships.
He said that.
Climb aboard on a pleasure.
I was watching.
Good AC/DC song, man. Go ahead.
Hey, we got a $20 one too.
We were watching. What was it? Sunday when Charles Barkley. I know this is different, but Sunday when Charles Barkley said what he said, I was watching. I was like, oh, kudos, but but you just never know what you're gonna get in these spaces.
Oh man, it's lighting the fuse, and all of a sudden you think an interview is going one way, and all of a sudden it's like you're getting off at an 8 Mile because it came up on you faster than you thought because you were enjoying the music you were listening to.
I think when you deny people's freedom of speech for so long, I believe it comes out in other ways, and now it's in a boom. Where people are like, all right, I'm gonna say what I want to. I have to go over here and say it, or I have to go over here, or I have to go on live. But people are finding ways to get out their freedom of speech. Or if it's front office guys, it's like, oh, this is what I saw when I was in there.
I want to be heard.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Finding ways to say what they want to say.
Yeah, feed us that $20 super chat.
Yeah, shout out to Dana O'Shana. 1999 super chat says breadcrumbing for extra money from a great player just to probably pay a effing running back earlier than you need to for $30 million a year is crazy. He says, I'm okay with the business move, but please be sharky in other areas too.
It's well said.
Yeah, it's very well
crafted. Don't be a stranger. We appreciate it. Not just because of the money. I'm talking about
those type of comments.
Put together. Yeah, those comments are important. They make me think. They make Braylon, all of us think. Doesn't mean we're always going to agree with you, but it's really good stuff to talk about.
He's absolutely right. I may have to push off the stance we had last week, man, as it relates to who to extend. Like, realistically, there's only one player on the Detroit Lions team I would extend. And I don't believe that that's the player that they're extending. So the conversation, the question is, why get this money back from Jared Goff? Why all these nickel and dime, not even nickel and dime, how are these $1 contracts if your plan is to extend Jahmyr Gibbs, who disappeared in 4 games last year? Mm-hmm. And you don't have to extend him right now. You can keep that money to help yourself progress this year. Like, you're extending the guy down in the future, but you don't need to. It's this year. Jack Campbell's the only player that I would put the money towards his books.
Oh, I thought you were going to tease us with who you were going to do that right after a quick timeout. We do have some Dan Campbell sound that we want to play. We also want to talk about the Pistons and OKC a little bit last night at Jaden Ivey. A lot to get to in the next 55 minutes. It's not easy because this show moves and you help us. So smash that like button. We're back after this from Estates Title and Pure Psychiatry.
I must read this one too well without the sheet because I never get the sheet for this one. But you know what? Braylon doesn't need it. Estates Title Agency, Nabi Sahat is my guy.
Did you just go third person?
I did.
Okay.
With over 20 years of expertise, he knows what he's doing. He is the guy for you. And his team as well. It's over 20 years combined with the squad. You know why they're the team? It's because they make things simple and convenient. Your Southeast Michigan smooth and secure partner. Smooth and secure is the way to go. Look, whether you are refinancing a home or you're buying your first home, let the B and his crew at Estates Title Agency take care of you. They want to make the process easy, convenient, simple, and special. That's why they also offer you weekends as well as nighttime closings. And the best thing about it is they will pull up on you, drop a pin, drop the location, and they'll be there. They'll close it for you. Nabi Saad and the State Title Agency, call Mr. Needs for all your title deeds.
Certain things you want to get off your chest, I don't blame you. Certain people you feel like you can talk to. Sometimes it is a difficult mental health journey for you. We've all been there, all right? No one is too strong where they can't ask for a little bit of help. Pure Psychiatry provides personalized care designed specifically for you. It's not a cookie cutter plan. It's not one size fits all. It's specialized strictly for you. 16 locations in the state of Michigan, 2 more in the state of Ohio. They make getting help accessible. They make getting help comfortable too. How do you find them? Go to PurePsychMI.com. That's PurePsychMI.com.
You smell that? That's Brad Holmes cooking. And the off-season smells good. Woodward Sports. The Tigers are the best team in baseball. Get the best coverage in Detroit right here on Detroit's #1 sports network. Woodward Sports. Every Scooble start, every green homer, and all the action can be followed on all of our social media. Make sure you like, subscribe, and follow on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. It's World Series or bust, Detroit, and we are here for the ride. Woodward Sports. Woodwardsports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward Sports gear. Woodwardsports.com can get the whole team outfitted. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. Shop online at woodwardsports.com. The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Planet Fitness now has even more best-in-class strength equipment. Join today for $1 down and save.
We're stepping it up.
We're not slowing down.
Finding new faith, new focus.
Love that new equipment smell.
So, you in?
Join the club today. Save when you join for just $1 down, $15 a month. Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon. Braylon Edwards and Shep Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to Michigan Sports and Spine.
You know how some things are so good they should be world famous, but they're not? Our house-made vinaigrette is one of those things. And the antipasto salad, we drizzle it over. Same with our hand-battered chicken tenders. Original recipe soups and pasta sauces. It's almost as if our original, world-famous Detroit-style pizza is mocking them. And that's not very nice.
Why do we fight? We fight to protect the innocent, to hold the powerful accountable, to bring the oppressors to justice. Why do we fight? We fight to secure and preserve our civil liberties, to get each and every one of our clients the justice they deserve, and to make the lives of real people just like you whole again. ThenFights.com.
I hate to tell you, energy drinks, but you're about to be crushed. Thrive nootropic energy pouches are here to change the game by delivering steady, focused performance in a clean white pouch for a fraction of the cost. And unlike other brands, Thrive comes from an American company that's been leading the way for over 30 years. So stop drinking gut rot energy drinks and why don't you thrive for a change? It's just better.
All right, y'all. Wolverines are not only in the Final Four, but the Frozen Four. And if you haven't got the official sports book of Woodward Sports, which would be Caesar's sports book, there's still time. Get your bets in because you can place any bet up to $1,000. If you lose, you get that back. All you got to do is scan that QR code. Enter the code Woodward1000. If that first bet does not hit, you'll get your deposit back up to $1,000. Minimum bet $20. Download that Caesar Sportsbook app today, the official sportsbook of Woodward Sports. Use code Woodward1000 or scan the QR code on the screen. And I am so over that mid-afternoon crash. That's exactly why I leveled up and copped me some Thrive Energy pouches that are made right here in the U.S. They deliver fast-acting energy and elite cognitive focus. Just all natural caffeine, y'all. Best part, it's clean. All energy, zero sugar, zero crash. Grab your Thrive Energy pack today. Scan that QR code on your screen right now or go to dipstop.com to grab that tin. Promo code WSN at checkout to get that 15% off your entire order. Seriously, y'all, they just effing work.
Hey, not many things go better together than the NCAA tournament Final Four and Sam Adams Cherry Wheat. You get $5 shorts of Sam Adams Cherry Wheat at any Art and Jake's location across Michigan. Happens on Mondays, Thursdays, Saturdays. It's light, it's refreshing, it's made with real Michigan cherries. Please drink responsibly when you do it. Maybe it's something similar to what, and they should be drinking this at the 18th annual NFL Head Coaches Day Drinking Day at the NFL Owners Meeting. It was started 18 years ago. Mike Tomlin was part of it with Jay Glazer, and now they all raise a glass and have that coaching fraternity together. This is the glass they should be raising today.
And we back.
I tell you what, when Michigan wins this national championship, I'm going to be unsufferable. unsufferable. Because realistically, I was chill when Michigan won the football. I was, we won. But there was a lot going on around that time. So I spent the majority of that national championship defending the national championship, if you catch my drift. Counter Stallions. So legitimately, it still was a win. Like, with this one, I'm going to finally get off my chest that everything is. Like, there is no institution that's greater than Michigan. Just like family and just like anything else. There's a lot of things I do not necessarily like about my family, if you will. But the greater thing is Michigan is the leaders, and they are the best.
Are you convinced they're going to win?
Hail.
Basketball and hockey. Basketball and hockey.
You think
Sweet
it's a
16.
double dip? Okay.
100%. The last time we did it was 97. We won hockey and football. Although it wasn't necessarily the same season, it was the same year. 90.
North Dakota is going to be a tough out.
It will.
And Arizona is going to be a tough out. That would be a very interesting trivia question, or a poll question.
The tough out.
What is the tougher out? Arizona for the men's basketball team or North Dakota for the men's hockey team? Most people would say Arizona basketball because they don't know North Dakota hockey. Real quick, NFL owners have approved 4 rule changes, according to Tom Pelissero. Ready?
They must have been watching the UFL.
The competition committee to permit the kicking team to declare an onside kick at any time during the game.
UFL, that's one.
Okay. I hate that rule. Why do I have to declare that it's going to... Isn't the point of an onside kick supposed to be surprise?
Mm-hmm.
Why they keep trying to add that in there?
I have no idea.
Remember, this was in there 2 seasons ago.
It's stupid.
Then they got rid of it and they changed it last year and they had the new one. Now they're bringing it back.
It's stupid. By the competition committee to eliminate the kicking team's incentive to intentionally kick the ball out of bounds when kicking off from the 50-yard line. By competition committee to modify the kickoff alignment requirements for the receiving team players in the setup zone. And by the competition committee for 1 year only to allow the NFL officiating department to correct clear and obvious misses made by on-field officials that impact the game. I think that's very vague. Don't a lot of plays impact the game?
That's called New York.
Yeah.
Like, they've officially put in a New York clause. So they can legitimately be in New York and they can see a situation, how it's shaping up, and who might, well, no, we're going to overturn that right there. That's what that is.
Speaking of referees and the NFL.
It's all about money. Why were 3 of those rules having to do with special teams?
I don't know.
Who gives a damn?
Yeah, well, I agree. Let me ask you this. How do the NFL Referees Association, who get paid about
$275?
Oh, I think it's $350. I think it's closer to $350.
To miss calls?
They're being offered a 6.4% increase. They want 10%. They want any one of it. I mean, you and I would agree this should be easy to fix. Can we meet in the middle? Can we do 8.5? Is that possible? Can we do 8? Whatever. Okay. Here's the second one.
Like, why? We spend legitimately, and I don't know, and this was before sports betting. We spend the majority of the time complaining about the calls.
Well, exactly right.
We spend the majority of the time looking at videos, looking at evidence of how bad you are at your job. And now you want to bump and play? Okay, Angel.
Oh,
was it Angel Hernandez?
Angel Hernandez.
There you go.
Here's the other thing.
I should trust
they want to be able to reach the postseason as a member of an officiating crew based on seniority, not by being graded.
Okay.
So
yeah,
I think that's BS too.
Yeah, let me be in the Super Bowl based off my longevity, not based on how good I was.
Correct.
That's gatekeeping.
Yeah,
that's gatekeeping.
The best should be at the Super Bowl.
Amen. You want the best product, do you not?
Yes.
In anything if you're asking you guys to pay a certain amount for a ticket, so let's just say the Final Four.
I don't want to remember the ref.
It's a $2,000 ticket. I want the best referee out there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't want to remember the call that he got wrong or that he missed or something like that. Like 100%.
This has nothing to do with it, but it does have something to do with it. I hate when they change rules just for like the better part of this. Like, so we're gonna take grading out because we're not doing our job the best way, because we're gonna miss calls, because we got other stuff going on and we have to make calls based on New York. We don't know that. But you're coming in here and you're making these calls, and now because you're so bad at your job, we're now taking out grading scale. So now I want to know who the hell is going to be in the Super Bowl. Like, stop changing stuff. Don't you know I was no, this is real. This is fun. So my girl, her daughter is president of Farmington. Shout out to Miley Myers. She's the president of the student class. She's a senior. She's about to get ready to graduate.
She's a Farmington Falcon.
She's a Farmington Falcon, 1,000%. We were trying to figure out seating for the graduation. So, we entered into – so she came home. We were trying to figure out seating that day. Come to find out, seating is only for people that are speaking. Well, Miley's the only one that's speaking because she is president. Mm-hmm. So the seats should be ours, right?
You would think.
So then a question was asked, well, doesn't the valedictorian speak? Doesn't the valedictorian also say something?
Usually.
Don't you know they don't even have a valedictorian anymore because they don't want other people to feel bad?
Why?
About their grades, so they don't have a valedictorian because the valedictorian comes in with a 4.4, 4.3, 4.5, whatever it is, IB classes, which is the new version of AP classes, and goes up there and they're like, well, we don't want everybody to feel like they have to. What are we doing?
Set the standard.
So I had to bust my ass for 4 years, get a 4.4, 4.5 just to sit in attendance with the rest of these scrubs that didn't get a 4.5 like me. Like, that's the world we live in. I don't know if it overlaps or connects, but
ding ding.
It just something I wanted to get on.
I'm glad you did because it's another example of just.
I have a 4.8, and you're telling me I got to sit next to the kid with a 2.1 because the kid's parents that has a 2.1 will feel some type of way if I got up there. Well, we don't want to make them feel bad. Well, you should have put the work in like I did.
Right. You should feel bad.
Yeah.
You should feel bad.
It's okay. That participation medal, huh?
Deal with
it. That's where I was going. Like, this is a form of a participation medal. Like, we don't want you to really get ranked.
Right.
We don't want to put how bad you really were, Shep.
We can grade every NFL team based on its travel, where it stays, its kitchen,
weight room, coaches.
We can do all that. We can grade players on a regular basis. We can tell quarterbacks, sorry, you're not winning enough, right? Your throwing percentage stinks. You got too many picks, okay?
Too many
choke.
Picks.
You can't move out of the pocket. But we can't tell a referee, you didn't do a very good job today. You don't get the opportunity to referee the NFC Championship
Who
game.
else can't you talk to, really? Who else can't you curse at? Who else can't you have an intense situation unless you're Dan Hurley on Sunday? Right back at you. I got you covered. I watched that again. I didn't necessarily – okay, full disclosure. I didn't see it.
Okay.
So when you were talking about yesterday, I didn't see it. Like,
I'm sorry.
That absolutely was
crazy,
a technical
dog.
foul. That absolutely was a technical foul.
No!
Like, in so many words, if he was a black man, I know exactly what he said. Like, I know exactly what he said.
So here's what I say to people: put your team in that situation. Forget that it's Duke for a moment. I know that's hard because all people want to do is say, "Oh, they're a bunch of whiners."
Yeah.
Put your team, your favorite team, in that situation. You're down one with 0.4 seconds left. Yeah. The opposing coach goes up and headbutts the referee.
I'm not leaving the court till we get those free throws. Mm-hmm. I would still be in. Where were they playing at? Were they Chicago?
Washington, D.C.
I still would be in D.C. right now on the court. Like, realistically.
Shout out DMV.
Because at the end of the day, two things can be true. It was a hell of a shot, and he did his thing. He made the shot. He also headbutted the ref. Okay. So if my team is losing, I'm definitely going to try to take advantage of something that's legal.
Okay.
Well, technically it would be illegal.
But remember, I said yesterday.
I didn't see it.
No, not just that, but almost the entire team ran on the floor.
Mm-hmm. That one I will let go. But that one I wouldn't have. But the headbutt?
Yeah, I'm not trying to be, the stickler here. I'm just saying that's speaking of that.
It's also Duke. Like,
that's what I say.
I think that's why they allow it. If that would have been like if it would have been if it were shoes were reversed.
No, you said that's why they allow it. That's why
because it is Duke. If the shoe was opposite, if Duke
John Shire did that, you think he'd get whistled?
Yes, because it's Duke.
But most people think the calls favored Duke.
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
I don't think so. I think the General Assembly doesn't like Duke, and they operate as such. But I think they'll get certain favorable calls through the course of a game. But that one, if John Shire were to headbutt the referee, definitely they'd be like, oh, yeah.
I am surprised, especially because of Danny Hurley's volcanic attitude, which sometimes I really enjoy.
That may be why he got the pass. Yeah. It's because it's one situation you know what type of individual he is.
Yeah.
And in that moment, it's like, this isn't him coming out of the way to do something he doesn't have to do. So, this is him doing exactly what this is who he is. Like, us finding him for who he is us not appreciating him as a coach in this era.
Case in point, we were talking about college basketball, and then we'll get back to Dan Campbell and his quotes. It's coming up. There's a lot of people who believe that the Saturday night late matchup between Arizona and Michigan, and it makes sense that they put that one as the late game because they want people to stick around, is truly the national championship. You and I talked about this yesterday.
Yep.
Here's the reason why. Are you ready? Arizona has won by 34, Long Island, beat Utah State by 12, beat Arkansas by 21, and beat Purdue by 15. Yeah, Arkansas is just a joke, folks. So the average is just 20.5 points per game.
And in the Purdue game, they came back from down 14 to then win by 13.
By 15.
By 15, excuse me. Sorry.
Michigan's point differential, 21 against Howard, 23 against St. Louis, 13 against Alabama, and 33 against Tennessee, or 22.5 points per game. This is just in the tournament, okay? That's the reason there's a lot of people going, could that be the national championship? Why would even why would Illinois or UConn even venture onto the floor for the national championship game Monday night?
Well, two things. One, yes, this is the national championship game in my eyes. With Duke being gone, this is a national championship game. Kudos to Illinois. Kudos to UConn for what they did. You're talking about two teams that have been there from the very beginning to the very end and blown people out like no team in college basketball has ever done. Michigan's number one, and I guarantee you Arizona's number are somewhere between 6 to 10. If you look at what they've done, that's the number one game. It's just like when Michigan won a national championship in football. The Michigan-Alabama Rose Bowl was the national championship game.
Yeah.
Whoever won on
that
the other
overtime
one,
game,
100%. Whoever won out of Washington, make it fun. I forgot who Washington played. I don't even remember who the other team was. So whoever was coming out of that, it was the national championship game. The reason why you can't say that, though, is because basketball is different than football. And we can say that this is the best game. We can say that this is the game we all wanted to see all season long, and because we saw Michigan and Duke. Realistically, didn't work for Michigan. We saw Michigan and Duke. This is the game that you've been talking about. But the reason why you can't say that is because UConn is a damn good team. They got 2 natties in the last 4 years, and that team is just as dangerous. When you have so much energy and so much emotion tied to a game like this Arizona-Michigan game is going to have, you're going to be exhausted. And so when you walk onto that court on Monday, it's not like that. And football is different. Like you play, game's over. You got a week, you got 10 days, figure it out. Boom, here's another game. You play basketball, you got to get all that energy out Friday, Saturday, and then turn around and do it again on Monday. So I won't just say it's a national championship game because whoever wins that game, they're gonna be beat. They're gonna be beat up. It's gonna be interesting.
Ironically enough, Michigan played Duke in Washington D.C. and lost, and that's where Duke just ended up losing to UConn. All right, let's shift back to Lions here. Dan Campbell said a lot of things the other day about his team to give people an idea of exactly where he thinks they're at, about Drew Petzing, the offensive coordinator, and what's impressed him, and about him and Kelvin Shepard being on the same page defensively and why he's encouraged by it, and where his team is in general. All right, and included said something about Taylor Decker. Let's hear some of what Dan Campbell had to say. Kool-Aid, what's this first bite on so we get Braylon's reaction?
No, I was going to say, you know what? We're going to tease the people a little bit.
Oh, okay.
We're going to tease them. We're going to let them hear from some of our friends, and then we'll come back with those 3.
All right. This from Dr. Pierce and Buddies, and then we'll give you some of the Dan Campbell sound and Braylon's reaction to it.
DC speaks.
I definitely got a coach, too, at the end, man. Once we do this, do the Jay Knight stuff. I got a coach that Dan Campbell, don't fall into that place and become him.
All right, we got to let the squeeze in a half an hour. Here we go.
We can make it happen quick. We just got. I got to shut my mouth up. Unless I'm talking about Dr. Jeff Pierce, who is the injury insider here at Woodward Sports. He is the guy. Talking about the injury insights, man. There's a lot of players this season. We're trying to figure out what they're going to be. The latest news on Sam Laporta. It's some interesting news. It is some very interesting news on what he's going to be able to do this year, or if he'll be able to do anything, and where he is next season. But this is stuff that Doc can tell us about. This is stuff that Doc can bring to you and make you understand it, whether it's with his graphics or whether it's with his knowledge. This is what Doc does. And then also, too, if you yourself have any aches and pains and nicks and bruises and you're trying to get back to the optimum peak performance, well, go see Doc at Michigan Sports and Spine. They get you together. Sports and Spine Center. Let me correct myself. They get you together. They understand. And it ain't just Doc over there. And I use Aim for Effect. That whole staff will get you right. I know Doc, but I don't always see Doc when I go there. And I still feel great.
I'm hungry, and I want that right there. I want that Buddy's pizza. I want that Buddy's salad. It looks really good. And I think
Friday.
I'm going to have some on Friday because that's where we're going to be. Downtown Detroit, the live watch party, Grand Slam Opening Day Festival, Tigers in their home opener Friday, April 3rd. Come join us at Buddy's. Get a slice of the best pizza in town, grab a cold drink, and watch the Tigers kick off the season with us here at Woodward Sports, April 3rd at Buddy's in downtown Detroit.
You know how some things are so good they should be world famous, but they're not? Our house-made vinaigrette is one of those things. And the antipasto salad, we drizzle it over. Same with our hand-battered chicken tenders. Original recipe soups and pasta sauces. It's almost as if our original, world-famous Detroit-style pizza is mocking them. And that's not very nice.
Planet Fitness now has even more best-in-class strength equipment. Join today for $1 down and save.
We're stepping it up.
We're not slowing down.
Finding new faith, new focus.
Love that new equipment smell.
So, you in?
Join the club today. Save when you join for just $1 down, $15 a month. Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet.
I hate to tell you, energy drinks, but you're about to be crushed. Thrive nootropic energy pouches are here to change the game by delivering steady, focused performance in a clean white pouch for a fraction of the cost. And unlike other brands, Thrive comes from an American company that's been leading the way for over 30 years. So stop drinking gut-rot energy drinks and why don't you thrive for a change? It's just better.
Like a frostbite straight from the divine. Cold rush on my skin feels so fine. Muscle freeze, the ache. No side effects, no mistake. Chill sub-zero. Icy and true. Feel the chill. It's all for you. It's not magic, just science play. Chill sub-zero.
Find your sun with Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea. Made with real iced tea and real vodka. Cold, refreshing, and made for moments like these all year long. Let the good times cruise with Sun Cruiser.
Why do we fight? We fight to protect the innocent, to hold the powerful accountable, to bring the oppressors to justice. Why do we fight? We fight to secure and preserve our civil liberties, to get each and every one of our clients the justice they deserve, and to make the lives of real people just like you whole again. ThenFights.com.
Come to any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men and claim your throne for a king's treatment from one of our talented stylists. Open 7 days a week, walk in anytime. Just get to a Lady Jane's today and receive a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. A haircut should not be a chore. It should be an experience. And that's exactly what Lady Jane's has to offer. Open 7 days a week, walk-ins are always welcome. There's always a location near you. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
Game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports. Thank you to all the fans for making Woodward Sports your #1 online destination for Detroit sports. We promise not to drop the ball. The bats are hot, and the weather is getting hotter. Summertime in the D with Detroit's big hitters. Woodward Sports. You smell that? That's Brad Holmes cooking, and the off-season smells good. Woodward Sports.
Oh, you know I love talking about Black Rock Bar and Grill because it is a top rock experience, and you love when I talk about the people we partner with because they partner with you as well. Come on down for some of these specials, some of these happy hours, if you will. It's Tuesday, that's sizzling. Excuse me, Tuesday is Tasty Tuesdays, if you will. Here we are, Tasty Tuesdays, man. You know what time it is. Come on down, $13.99. Get some of that shrimp scampi. Oh, soup, salad. Oh my God, that's what they got there. And also too, home of the steak on the stone. And we don't talk about that enough. Cook your steak to your perfection, shrimp, fish, whatever you want to. That volcanic rock is $7.55, and you can do it what you like. Service is going to be amazing, and then there's Black Rocks all around the state. So come on down, hang out with us at Black Rock. Top rock experience, guaranteed.
Always making me hungry, especially with Black Rock and that good-looking steak right there. You want to look good coming in and out of the building you live or you work? Well, Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men is the place to come because they've got, I just talked to some of them, they're taking inventory. It is spotless out there. They've got the right things on TV to keep you engaged and make sure you're up to sports like you love being up to sports. You got to watch the TV while you're getting your hair cut, and then you walk out that door after coming in here very quickly because you've signed in. You're out the door, and you're out there looking really, really sharp. It's Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It doesn't get any better. The people here are fantastic, and the haircuts are wicked awesome.
And we back.
Okay, let's get into what Dan Campbell has said. Let's talk about that a little bit. Dan Campbell, first and foremost, on the Terrion Arnold situation that seems to be very bizarre. Here's what he had to say.
Everything you guys know. I mean, it was we got all the information that says he wasn't involved. That's what we know. That's all we know. And I mean, that's really all I can say. I mean, we're monitoring what's out there. I mean, as of a month ago, this was nothing. You know, So I have no idea what this is. As far as I know, it's still not a big deal. It seems like, you know, he wasn't involved with this.
What? Huh? Hear me out on this one, ladies and gentlemen. The NFL, the NBA, the NHL, and the MLB know it all. They know it all. It starts with the owners, start with the commissioner. They know what's going on. You heard Carmelo talk about this insightly with David Stern would tell him, like, look, David Stern pulled me in the office a couple times, told me about who I was hanging with, mentioned some names, mentioned some things. They know everything. When I was in Cleveland, I had Romeo Cornell bring me into the office. Not Romeo Cornell, excuse me. Well, him too. Eric Mangini bring me into the office. They knew about things before I even told them. They know what's going on. Like when you're paying individuals money, you know, you keep tabs. This is what happens. So let's take out the keeping tabs part of it. Let's just say, you know what? It was a month ago. What you mean you don't know anything?
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean you don't know anything? Well, what I know is what I know from a month ago. That's not, one, it's not good enough.
Yeah.
And two, it's not the case.
It's also surprising.
Like, so, again, every time we've heard from Dan in the last couple of weeks or we heard from somebody, it seems like a level of we don't know. We aren't sure. Whether you're talking about people you bring in, whether you're talking about situations that are going on, whether you're talking about instances with contracts and players that are retiring, it just seems like I don't know.
Yeah,
So
it's the look like you talked about before when we talked about the Rod Wood quote. And then, of course, Jason Kelsey and other people weighing in, Alex Anzalone. Condre Diggs just weighed in on it, too. And he said, love the Lions, but seeing how other franchises have handled these situations, it may be time to change how you've done things in the past. This is no different than what you're talking about right here, okay? Get out in front of it. You got to change your ways.
The Cam Sutton situation. Let's just go back to that. With the Cam Sutton situation, the Lions spent the better part of that whole situation like acting like they didn't know what was going on. And you know what? Let's not say act. Maybe they didn't. Maybe they didn't care enough to find out.
That's an indictment, too.
I was just about to say, that's even worse. So however you want to phrase it, it's not good. The Cam Sutton situation, they watched it play out. They didn't know. Then finally they made a move on him. They made a move on him like two and a half months after the situation. Then they moved on from him, and then more came out. Find out what's going on. That's what the NFL has the access to. We don't think Terrion did anything, and you guys obviously don't either. But you sitting there and saying, yeah, we talked to him, and we don't think it's much there, and I don't know. I thought it was a moot point a month ago. It just doesn't sound good for an organization that is dealing with so much already that it seems like you went from the to the 2020, like I said, to the rise, and everything was good, and everything is smooth, and you're doing everything the right way to now. Well, I don't know here, and I don't know there. But when everything is working, Shep, when everything is good, I appreciate you, Cam. When everything is good and everything is working, you don't call out little things. You don't call out when it's working. When you're winning, winning takes care of everything. But when you stop winning, now I'm saying, remember this? Hey, you see this? You see how this operating? So I know I'm making maybe a lot more of it than what it is because it doesn't seem like much. Got his stuff stolen. His boys went and got his stuff back. You know, it didn't seem like he was there and doesn't seem like he necessarily came up with the plan. But we can't say that that's the end of it because what did Dan Campbell just tell us? I don't know.
All right, how about Dan Campbell on Taylor Decker? Because that's received an awful lot of publicity recently. Taylor Decker left the Lions, asked for his release, has not been as popular as perhaps he and his agency thought he would be. Here's what Dan Campbell had to say about the relationship between the Lions, himself specifically, and Taylor Decker.
Look, I'm going to give nothing but flowers to Deck for everything he did for us and what he's done for this organization. And look, I'm sure as hell not going to call him right now, not after all this article came out, but I'll call him. You know, I'm going to call him in time. But I want him to know it's real and it's a real phone call. But, man, we appreciate everything he did.
To a certain extent, I do understand that. There's no – by reaching out now, it makes it look reactionary because of all the publicity that it's received. So maybe it's not the best time. I'm surprised they haven't reached out by now. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, with this one, 100%. It's this one not so much. This one just lets you know that there was no conversation. They didn't follow through. There wasn't, my boys were not this tight, etc. But this is business. This is how it happens. Like you don't typically talk to coaches after seasons, especially if you're not drinking Mai Tais with them in Cabo like some coaches and some players. So I don't think that this is a huge deal at all. But I would definitely reach out. Like even if it's reactionary or not, it doesn't matter. If I'm calling Taylor Decker, Frank Ragnar, I'm reaching out as a coach. Just talk. Because if it wasn't that big of a deal, if there was no disrespect, if there was cooler heads, and if you are who you say you are or we believe you to be, then that should be a situation. It shouldn't be a hard one for a coach to go to Taylor and say, "Hey, look, what's going? How do you feel?" And just sit down and talk like a man. Like who was it that went over the house? It was Charles Haley. What coach was it that went over Charles Haley's house?
Jimmy Johnson.
Like just Jimmy. Hey, look, man.
Or no, Barry Switzer. I'm sorry.
That's who it was. Barry Switzer.
Yeah.
Let's go figure it out. Barry Switzer went over a house of an individual that everybody in NFL is scared of, still scared of. And he went over there and he hashed it out and he talked it out. And to this day, Charles Haley will fight you about Barry Switzer.
Last one. Dan Campbell on his new offensive coordinator, Drew Petzing. Most of us did not know who he was. Campbell did have some comments about Kelvin Shepard and the fact that they're on the same page, that if they've got to go to a 5-2 type situation or an extra nickel or whatever, that they're not going to be necessarily married to the 4-3 because Detroit ran more 3 linebacker sets than any defense in the National Football League a year ago. We're not going to play that for you, but we are going to play the fact that him and Drew Petzing, what's impressed him most about Drew Petzing, listen to this, and I can't wait to get your thoughts on this one because this one baffled me. Go ahead.
Guys, I say, hey, listen, tell me if there's something that I need to know. I'm like, don't get something on your mind or something you want to do. I need to know it from you. He's like, all right. And he tells me, I said, I don't like that. And he says, okay, no problem. We'll do this. I said, and it's nothing like we've been, but my point is this guy is, he adjusts. He's in the flow. Nothing throws him off. He's ready to adapt, adjust, whatever you want, whatever you need. We're going to make it work. We're going to maximize this. So he's been great, man. It's been good.
Is that unique, do you think? Seriously, isn't every head coach an offensive coordinator? If the head coach doesn't like it, they have to be able to adjust and move forward with something different?
I don't like that he itched his nose before he started talking. It looked like a poker tail. Like, it looked like he was like, I was like, oh, shit, I'm alive. I was like, oh, here comes.
Fold.
I don't know if I necessarily like this conversation. A bunch of it's just coach. It's talk. He's adjusting. He's doing things. What it sounds like. I don't like that. One of the biggest things we talked about is Dan Campbell loving to call plays. Dan Campbell not necessarily wanting to relinquish play call duty and wanted to be around in some portion, some fact, some kind. So him already talking about, hey, I don't like that. And Drew Petzing saying, okay, cool. Well, let's do something else. So what do you like? Like, I don't know if I'm necessarily vibing with that right now. Because, one, we need you to bring in somebody that knows what the hell they were doing, switch up from what we were last year, get us back to what we were 2-3 years before, and take advantage of all this talent that I see you over there. Take advantage of all this talent that we have on this team. You bring in an offensive coordinator no one knows about. And then you guys leaking a story. This is me talking speculation. Once again, this is not anything I've heard. You dropping stories about how good Drew Petzing is and what he's great at and this is that and the third. Then those things come out. Now he's talking about Drew Petzing. Well, I like this and I like that. I think he likes the fact that he can control Drew Petzing because Drew Petzing is not coming in as some coordinator that's got a rocket ship strapped to his ass. And by that means he's on the trajectory shooting towards the moon. Like, this is a guy where you're like, is he supposed to have a job? Like, would he have a job if it wasn't for the Lions? So when I hear him, people talking about, well, yeah, I don't like that. I think Dan wanted to stay around the coaching aspect, and that's what I've always thought.
It's good.
Stay around the offensive, like calling plays, if you will. Like, Dan, like, you shouldn't be worried about shooting plays now. You should be worried about some of this personnel that you don't have, some of this personnel issues that you do have, kind of. Some of these players that are injured, what are you going to do? Some of the stuff that's coming out in the media about the perception changing, that's what we need to be focusing on. Because you hired him because he was that. And didn't you also hire another offense coordinator, Mike Kafka?
Mike Kafka, right.
So you got two coordinators, but yeah, you still pulling strings.
Interesting stuff. All right.
That's what I saw in that snapshot.
Yeah, I mean, it's some of the way questions are answered oftentimes is a telling sign, too.
Yeah.
And I get that he likes Drew Petzing. He's the one who hired him. That's great. I just don't know what. I just don't know what. It's kind of like Dan Orlovsky and Ty Simpson. I just don't know what you're giving us that
he's the best quarterback in the draft
that we already don't know. And with all due respect to Dan Campbell, he's answering the question, so I give him credit for doing that. It's just you're maybe we just got to wait. Maybe we just got to wait, and instead of asking him about Drew Petzing and asking him about Kelvin Shepard, let's see how it works out on game day.
Somebody asked,
that's going to be the ultimate decision maker, right, on how we feel about it.
If I was there, the question I would ask Dan is, take me through these roster moves. Like, tell me the thought process behind the roster moves, and tell me how you feel as though you've gotten better. And I'm not saying that they didn't or they did. I'm saying I want to ask him. I want to hear it out of the horse's mouth. What is the concept for the moves you made this offseason? What is the nickel and dime situation about when you have a little bit of money? What is the extension going to do for you? Like, I would ask these questions so I can get his ideology. Because then I wouldn't have to guess. I wouldn't have to sit up and speculate. You know, then I can understand, oh, okay, well, this is the thought. I understand they want to add depth pieces. But give me more than that. Give me more than we're adding depth pieces. You should have did that last year. You didn't. So now that would be my return question.
It's a good one.
Why didn't you do that last year?
Yeah, it's a good one. My question too would be, how is his philosophy fit your offensive skill set? Okay, and what is it you need to complete his ultimate philosophy?
He's in Chicago. I'm joking.
Yeah, he's in Chicago. So
Chicago.
Yeah, he's in Chicago, right? So, I mean, those are some of the things that I think we kind of miss on these types of very vanilla answers is what they were. His answer to the Kelvin Shepard thing was even worse. Like, he can adjust. No kidding. I mean, can't just about every good defensive coordinator should be able to adjust, shouldn't they, to what's being thrown their way?
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, 100%. You know what I think you're saying, Shep, and this is real. This is not any secret sauce, as Doc likes to say, or this isn't something that – I know and no one else knows. I think he's frustrated with these questions because he's back in this spot. Like, and that's just human nature. Like, because he had to answer all these questions in 21 because he was taking over a franchise that wasn't good. 21, the record wasn't good. Saw some change towards the end. 22, they got much better, but you're still asking questions. Hey, what about this? You got to start this way in the third. I think then they moved to, 23, 24. And now here they are in 26. And for him answering questions, it feels like he's getting asked. It's like it's 21, 22 all over.
I know, man.
I think that's frustration.
This has
with
been
himself and his team.
You would think an offseason in the NFL would not turn into any type of train wreck per se unless you sign the wrong free agents or you sign somebody who just got in trouble with the law or something like that. Terrion Arnold. But you've got this situation right now with the Lions that is gaining more and more steam, and it's gaining more and more national steam. Yeah. You and I, last hour, said this. How does this we wouldn't have known this about Frank Ragnow. How'd the information go? National show just said the exact same thing. Their quote, I don't know how this information about Frank Ragnow gets out when you sign a contract that's supposed to be guaranteed money. The team president just offered it up. Facts, right? All the things, I'm not saying they're watching our show. I'm just saying those are the things that we brought up. That's what the national members of the media are now saying. And that's going to, listen, this has got tentacles.
Yeah, it does.
So the Dan Campbell vanilla answers to some of these questions. It's great that he's hanging out, having a beer with Michael Phelps or wherever it is in Arizona. That's all fine and dandy. But in the end, when it comes to football and their reputation, it's borderline on the line with some of the things that have been leaked out there. I'd fly on the wall for when Rod Wood goes back into Allen Park or Ford Field, wherever his office is, and he meets Sheila. And she says to him, what the blank did you do?
I know who it's going to be, and I don't think it's going to be Sheila. I think it's going to be somebody on behalf of Sheila. You know who that person is. He is a former player. It is Chris Spielman.
Yeah.
Chris Spielman is the one I believe that I guess he's Rod and her family friends, but it just...
I don't know. Spielman is the kind of, I guess he is the assistant to the owner, yeah. So maybe that is.
We're just living in a Murphy's Law type of Detroit Lions environment right now. Anything can happen is happening. And none of it is. It's not necessarily. It's terrible, but it's consistent bad news. Like this is what happened at Michigan, and I'm not comparing it because obviously there was a whole scandal, so it's not that. But Michigan was in this great pure space, and then slowly but surely, starting in 2020, it was a chip here. It was a chip there. It was a chip here. It was a chip there. It was a chip there. To a point you looked up, like Michigan was completely a different program in 2024 or at the end of 25 than it was in 2020. Like with all these blemishes. Mm-hmm. Like one blemish is nothing. But you start compiling them, and now the whole canvas is blemished.
We're not going to have time to talk about the Jaden Ivey situation. We are going to talk about it tomorrow because he's on a podcast later on tonight, so we'll be able to get a different spin. Yeah. This is interesting that according to some people who are in Chicago, I don't know if this is confirmed, but Patrick Williams, I stand with Jaden on everything he said. If they cut him, they might as well cut me too. I don't know if that's completely true, but it has been sent out by more than one person in social media. Quick timeout.
Let me say one thing about that. Yeah. We will talk more about it tomorrow. He has an 8 o'clock p.m. podcast interview on Pinpoint, and I think his link is connected to it. The one thing that I will say, we just have to stop. We have to stop every time someone goes live or every time someone gives you their conversation, speaks their truth. We got to stop calling them mental health or saying that mental health is somewhere around or that they're a crash out. When you see somebody go on live,
it's not fair.
It's not fair. Right. It's very dismissive, to be honest. Not everybody has a crash out. Like this individual believes in the Lord, and he is conflicted in what the NBA represents in his mind and what the Bible represents in his mind. So we got to stop making everything out to be, oh, that's mental health. Oh, he's crashing out. Oh, does the NBA have CTE? That's very dismissive. It's very disrespectful. I would urge you to go to Matthew 5:10, if you will.
I would also tell you this. Travion Henderson, Des Bryant, Cam Curl, Tucker Kraft have all sent out messages on social media that aim toward siding with Jaden Ivey. Don't mention him specifically or anything that he suggested, but there's some momentum there for the former Piston. Quick timeout. This from Massage Chair and Supreme Lending, and then we'll wrap things up on the Braylon Edwards Show on a Tuesday afternoon.
Yes, sir. Hey, look, going ahead, get a jump on this information, so scan that QR code. Because I already know that you're looking to take your relaxation to the next level, and the only place you can do that is the Massage Chair House in Bloomfield Hills. It's the largest massage chair showroom in the Midwest because Michigan only does it big. Features top-tier brands like Infinity and Osaki. We do have the Osaki premiere in the studio, and I'm telling you, man, it's relaxation on the next level. Experience the difference with Dr. Duncan, the Wellness Doc and creator of the #1 YouTube channel for massage chair reviews at The Wellness Doc. Book your visit today at massagechairhouse.com or simply scan the QR code on your screen. Massage Chair House, your ticket to ultimate recovery and relaxation.
Buying a home or refinancing is a big decision, and just like in sports, you need the right team behind you. That's why we're proud to welcome Supreme Lending to the Woodward Sports family. As a full-service lender, they boast a 99% close-on-time rate and a 97% customer satisfaction score. But hold up, y'all. Here is the game changer. When you apply for an eligible loan, mention Woodward Sports, and you will receive up to $500 off your appraisal. To score this deal, call the numbers on your screen and talk to Chad and Chris at Supreme Lending today.
Find your sun with Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea. Made with real iced tea and real vodka. Cold, refreshing, and made for moments like these all year long. Let the good times cruise with Sun Cruiser.
Come to any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men and claim your throne for a king's treatment from one of our talented stylists. Open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Just get to a Lady Jane's today and receive a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. A haircut should not be a chore. It should be an experience. And that's exactly what Lady Jane's has to offer. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins are always welcome. There's always a location near you. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Planet Fitness now has even more best-in-class strength equipment. Join today for $1 down and save.
We're stepping it up.
We're not slowing down.
Finding new faith, new focus.
Love that new equipment smell.
So, you in?
Join the club today. Save when you join for just $1 down, $15 a month. Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet.
And we back.
So just a few moments here. Interesting game for the Pistons last night. Showed a lot of heart, losing in overtime without 4 starters, which I thought was fantastic. Kudos to Paul Reed and giving OKC everything they could. They're back tonight, and OKC was playing on the tail end of a back-to-back last night. And it is interesting that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander went to the line 25 times. Detroit as a team went 23. The day before against New York, if you watched it, Gilgeous-Alexander went to the line 16 times, and New York went 17, so almost as many, right? But the Red Wings have a big game in Pittsburgh tonight.
Look at the slack.
And Pittsburgh was a winner last night, so Detroit's got to watch out for that. They got to watch out for Columbus, too, and Columbus plays Carolina. Todd McClellan saying what he said to about his team the other day, you know, you're just wondering what's going on here in Detroit in general, right? But I don't think I've ever seen a hockey coach have to almost call out his team as often as Todd McClellan has. This is not a coaching issue because 3 coaches have had some of these guys, not all of them, but I've had some of these guys, and have had the same message over and over and over again. So what is it? I'm not claiming to have the answer, but there's a serious problem when you've got to motivate a team that's sniffing its first playoff appearance in 8 years, and you need to motivate them with words. They should know to start on time. They better start on time against Pittsburgh tonight. Otherwise, they're going to dig themselves a deeper hole.
Yeah, every time we hear conversation about the Detroit Red Wings, you know what I'm saying, now it's not become a positive one, whether we're talking about the team not riding for Dylan Larkin, whether we're talking about Tom McClellan having to continue to come to the podium and try to light a fire under his team's butt. A team, like you said, that is inching close to their first playoff appearance in how long? 11 years now? Like, and you have 12, or 11 or 12, and now you got to rile them up every single day, after every game, after every win, after every loss. I don't know.
Yeah, I get tired of trying to motivate or hearing coaches having to motivate a lot of these players. Let's get some super chats before we're out of here and make sure we get the thoughts of some of the people in there.
Hey, shout out to the people as well for smashing that like button today. If you didn't get the opportunity to, go ahead and smash that like button. Thanks to you all as well who sent in all the comments today, including the super chats. We have 4 more here to read before we close up. And Nitty Gritty, $4.99 super chat says, there's a turn of a phrase that seems to be fitting in this situation that he says he grew up on, a penny wise and a pound foolish, as it relates to those Detroit Lions.
Mm-hmm. That's well put.
Yep.
That's our guy.
Yep. Shout out Nitty Gritty. He sent in another one too, $1.99 super chat. He says, How about some accountability for the refs when they get things wrong? And this is going to be interesting, too. You're talking about changing some rules while you're bringing in replacement refs. It's going to be interesting.
Dude, I've always
chaos.
felt I have always
chaos.
felt that one of the things all these leagues miss out on. You got to have some accountability.
Yeah.
How do you do that? The media has to be available to ask them a question or two. I'm not saying they should stand there for 15 minutes, but if a coach and a player can do that, okay? If Caden Boozer can do that,
Yeah. That's facts.
okay? A freshman who's 18 years old can do that despite having his heart ripped out of his chest because of what he did, feeling like he let his team down. How can a grown man who's been doing it for a long time not answer some questions about certain consequential calls? To me, it's ridiculous.
I think too, and yeah, it is ridiculous. I think with players, you can ask questions that are concretely true. So if like Caden Boozer went out there and turned the ball over. Like there's this concrete. With refs, you're asking them like, why'd you make that call? Like, and they didn't necessarily overturn the call, so you blew the call, but they allowed you to keep the call. So now you're making me second guess myself to the public. Sure. And I think if you interview them and you have all this second guessing going on, we really would be looking at a fan base at this sport like, huh?
Yeah, it could just be a pool
like
reporter.
These are the dudes that are the games.
It's fine, a pool reporter, but they should be made available after each one. For example, in the Duke game, it could easily be say, how close were you to calling a technical foul on,
Hurley, yeah.
Dan Hurley? Because how close were you to calling a technical because they left the bench? There's not. You don't have to go through every call,
right?
But there are certain consequential calls that people question and talk about. That's what people want.
It's just like when you're in the courtroom. I watch way too many legal shows. It's like in the courtroom, like you're not putting certain people on that stand because they do not help your case. Whether you're the DA, the prosecutor, or whether you're defense, you're not putting certain people up there because once they start talking, your chances of winning that case are slowly going down, or maybe they're fastly going down. I think you put enough reps up there, you start looking like, I don't know if the NFL refs know what the hell they're doing. We already think that. If they start talking, now we know
That's right.
it. Now it's like, man, we gonna take this brand serious.
That's a good point.
Guess who suffers? Sports betting.
Well done, Perry Mason. And with that, we're out of here. We're back with you tomorrow, 2:00 here on the Braylon Edwards Show. Don't forget the heavyweights later on today, 5:00. Have a great rest of your Tuesday, everybody.
Looking for your daily sports fix? Look no further. Join Braylon Edwards, the University of Michigan legend.
Lofting it right corner of the end zone for Braylon, up in the air. Touchdown, Michigan!
And Shep.
Do you believe this comeback?
Your favorite sports commentator as they tackle the hottest topics in the world of sports. Catch the Braylon Edwards Show with Shep, Monday through Friday from 2 to 4 p.m. on the Woodward Sports Network. Get ready to laugh, learn, and love sports like never before.